Hey everybody, I'm Dan. Thanks for stopping by. It's 9 o'clock and it's Tuesday, March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. I understand we've had if you've watched the news, we've had one heck of a week this weekend. The weekend we've had thunderstorms. We had tornadoes. I'm down here in Southwest Florida. We had the tail end of these storms that have been coming through the last few days, and it just whipped right up through. And we had some very heavy winds last night for a short period of time. We actually dropped our hurricane protection. We had rain was just whipping. It was just whipping all over the place. It was just nuts down here. And about 20 minutes later, it stopped. I mean, 10 to 20 minutes later, that was it. But we've got people out in Michigan, Wisconsin, buried in snow. My brother called me yesterday from Connecticut, down southeast Connecticut. He had all kinds of rain from the morning right into the afternoon instead of snow. Other people had snow, and geez, let's not even talk about the tornadoes. I could not believe the amount of tornado warnings out there and the amount of tornado damage. It was just crazy. So we're here live tonight. We've got our diesel generator here, right here in the back. And I just wanted to talk to see if anybody was out there in our viewing family. Be glad to talk to you if you had any storm experiences you wanted to share. We had a very, very short experience here in our part of Florida, which was, again, the tail end of this huge storm that just was out in the country, this huge storm system. So if you're live here, I'm going to put a chat out there and see if anybody's out. Maybe we can grab somebody, get some comments on how they did. I'm just curious about how you weathered the storms. And if you had to use a generator at any point, if you lost power. I know if people are still without power, they may not be able to connect via the internet, etc. But sometimes you get people coming in and just wanted to reach out and be an available resource tonight. Again, I'm Dan from Cameron Home Solutions LLC. Great to have you here. Hello, everyone. Hope you all fared well in this week's nasty storms. What did you deal with in your area? Okay. So we'll shoot that out there, and then we can just get a chance for people to comment. Again, if you're here, you're looking at Cameron Home Solutions LLC. We're mainly a storm prep channel. We also do heavy-duty DIY, and we have a lot of different things we do on the channel. This week we've got a great schedule lined up. We know that hurricane season starts June 1st and runs to November 30th, and we're busy getting information ready and getting it out there for y'all. We're also doing some great DIY videos to help people. We've learned so much from YouTube and so much from people teaching us things over the years. So this is our opportunity for my wife, Mary, and I to pay it back to all y'all. So we're here in March. We had a flood panel discussion come out on Wednesdays. We do what we call a Talk Wednesday, and we put a video out that's not very video heavy. It's more audio with me talking or Mary talking, and you can just stream it in the background. When you're done with that video, grab another one in the series and just hit play. And we're trying to get people an opportunity to learn as much as they can about hurricane prep while they go about their day, because sometimes, depending on the kind of job you have or what you're doing at home, etc. I mean, here I am, I do a lot of work here in the garage, and you might have an opportunity where you can take an hour or two a day to listen to somebody and learn some things. So we thought we'd put these Talk Wednesday videos out there for your benefit. And it's been working well so far. We don't get a lot of viewership right now, but we figure that'll build as people learn about it. On Tuesdays, we go live from 9 to 10. We just started that a couple months ago, and we're slowly building that up. And if you're coming in here, welcome. Great to see you. If you have a comment, please feel free to leave it. And you can always watch this afterward, because once a live session ends on YouTube, it gets archived, and then it's treated like a regular video. So you can go in, you can like it, you can go in and make comments, and you can contact us, and then we can interact with you. So that's an awesome thing too. And then on Fridays, we will do some more DIY videos, or we'll release a hurricane prep video. So we've got live Tuesdays, hurricane-related content on Wednesdays, and then on Fridays, we do either DIY videos or hurricane prep videos. And as hurricane season draws closer, we'll have more hurricane prep videos. And we're getting ready to put a series together out on generators. We've got a nice liquid-cooled diesel generator here. But it doesn't matter whether you have something like we have, or if you have a small portable propane generator that runs on 8,000 watts or something. This is a 10,000 watt unit. Whatever you have, all the principles are the same. You've got to feed them. You've got to take care of them. You've got to burp them. You've got to put them to bed. What I mean is, if you have a generator, they're like having a kid. So you got to take care of it, and then it can take care of you. If you've got a gasoline generator, you especially have to take care of it, because your fuel could gum up, and you want to use treatments on it. You want to keep the carburetor clean. You want to run them at least quarterly. We run this generator quarterly. It's the third diesel we've had. And our first diesel was a 12,500 watt diesel, 12,000 watt diesel. And it was a diesel welder. It was a Lincoln Ranger 300D. That thing was awesome. And we had it for about 22 years. We sold that, and we got a Kubota GL 7000, which was a nice little generator. And then we moved down and we sold that, and we had this custom built, and it arrived 5 days before Hurricane Ian. And this is a clean power generator. This is a Stamford Newage alternator on the back. It generates 10,000 watts of very clean power, and the harmonic distortion on this is only 3 to 4%, which is about what it is with FPL. That's Florida Power and Light, and that's our utility service. So we can run sensitive electronics on it, our AC system, that variable speed AC system, that sort of thing. But anyway, again, welcome. I'm Dan from Cameron Home Solutions LLC. We wanted to see how well you fared out in the storms tonight. Just mentioning that we go live on Tuesdays from 9 to 10 p.m. and we're going to do that currently. It looks like a lot of people that are watching our stuff are watching on Saturday and Sunday afternoons now, so we may consider moving our live sessions to Sunday afternoons. We might experiment with that while leaving it live on Tuesday. We'll see how it goes. Wednesday, we have our Talk Wednesday series, which are hurricane-related videos for you to listen to and stream. And then on Fridays, we do our how-to videos, our DIY videos, and hurricane prep videos. So how was it for you? How did you do in the storms? Did you have any damage to the house? Did you have any family or friends that had issues? Hey, if you're picking this live feed up, by all means, reach out. Let us know how you did. I'm going to throw another chat out there now. All right, I'll fix this a little bit. Did you have anyone in your circle or family that had to deal with the tornadoes, snow, winds, or rain? I'll throw that out there and see. I mentioned a few minutes ago, my brother lives in Southeast Connecticut, and when he was hit by the first blizzard of the season, it was just an awful thing up there. He got about 20 inches of snow. Our father lives up in Northwest Connecticut, the opposite corner of the state, and he got about 24 inches of snow, I think, there too. And here we are down in Florida, shorts and a t-shirt, and we actually have our snow shovel that we retired. It literally hangs on the wall as a reminder of what we used to do up there. So when they get nasty storms like that, we just quietly send them a picture of our our snow shovel leaning up against a palm tree. And we say, if you need help, we have the shovel here. It's kind of a cute little thing, but yeah, it's been pretty serious. We've had a lot more snow in the Northeast than they had in a while. I'm down here in Florida. I know in northern Florida, we had some very cold weather to deal with. So we had a couple live sessions out there. We talked about that. We put out a couple of videos to help people with dealing with the cold here in Florida. There were like 9 things you could do. And then we went live on a Sunday morning to see how people did. So again, if you had some storm issues or incidents you want to talk about, hey, by all means, go ahead. This is a pretty exciting night for us here at Cameron Home Solutions. Mary and I celebrated our 100th subscriber. As of this afternoon, we have 100 subscribers to the channel. So that is just awesome. And whether we have 10 subscribers or 100,000 subscribers, we want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to listen. We know you've got other choices. You can listen to different things, learn some different things elsewhere. Many of you resonate with our groove here. You like how we walk, you like how we talk, you like what you learn. and that's awesome. We urge you to keep coming back. And the biggest thing you can do for us is give us comments and interact with us about either what you'd like to see, or what it is that you would like to question with regard to some of the things in our channel. We can talk about it. We can make other videos. Case in point, one of the hurricane prep things that we're doing is taking our Jackery power stations. We have 3 Jackeries in the house, 2 2,000-watt portable power stations, and one little bitty 100-watt power station. We call it Baby Jackery. But what we've done is we've gone ahead and tested those things. We've tested them on various power tools. We learned that we can't use a Jackery to run our chop saw, our big chop saw. It'll probably run the little one. We hadn't tested that, but the big chop saw, it just doesn't have enough oomph at 4,400 surge watts coming out of that power supply to turn that big saw over. So that was a bust. But we're able to run strobe lights and work lights. We're able to run other saws. We did a test on Sunday. My wife asked me, she got talking and said, hey, we do a lot of crock pot cooking. Would a crock pot be something that somebody might want to use in a power outage if they have a way to power the crock pot? And if you have a generator, like this or anything else, by all means. But she said, hey, what about people that may not have a generator? Maybe they have a portable power supply. So we've got a video out there we just did this weekend, and we tested a 4-quart crock pot and an 8-quart crock pot. We put one on one Jackery 2000 and one on the other Jackery 2000, and we ran them for a few hours and ran a test. Mary actually cooked some chicken thighs, and she had some onions and broth in there and water, and she made chicken so that we could have it on our salads, because we like to eat a lot of salads at night. And I need to eat more salad, I'll tell you that. A little less candy and a lot more salad. But anyway, the test came out great. We've got some great results, and you can use that regardless of whether you use a Blue Eddy unit or an OOPS unit or Jackery or whatever's out there. If you've got a portable power supply, we're giving you information that certainly helps us, because now we've got data, and that data tells us, hey, you can run your portable power supply for 2 hours, 9 hours, 12 hours, or whatever it is, and you can run stuff, and this is how long it would take. This is how long it would take to charge back up. Great information. We also used the Jackeries, and we ran a test on our refrigerator and our freezer. We have a 2017 regular top freezer, lower refrigerator, just a general GE fridge. We picked it up after Hurricane Irma. We had a brownout after that storm. Once we had changed over to FPL power, and the fridge we had was old at the time. That was a different fridge. So it browned out and the compressor didn't run anymore. So we just got rid of it. And what we did was we bought this fridge, $700, and we've had it. Geez, we're going on 9 years now. Thing runs like a top. It's small. It has everything we need. Now, interestingly, this is only like an 18 cubic foot fridge. It's not that big, but it's more than enough for the 2 of us. People today will buy 22, 24 cubic foot refrigerators, some of these side-by-sides with the French doors and bottom, and they only run on 3 and 4 amps. So I just saw an Electrolux model here this week, or last week. It ran on 3.3 amps. That's all it took to run that fridge. It's got a huge freezer and a nice set of open doors on the top. Another side-by-side, only 4 amps to run that thing. They run quiet. It's just amazing. So far we're good with our 7 amp unit, with our 7 amp 18 cubic foot fridge, and our little 5 or 6 amp manual defrost freezer that we have. That thing's probably about 15 cubic feet. We can run those for 12 hours off of one Jackery 2000. We can plug those 2 in, and away they go. So we can get 12 hours out of it before we get down to about 20% and have to charge the Jackery back up. So we're pretty impressed with that test, and that's out there for you to see as well. If you've done that sort of thing, hey, feel free to chime in, give us feedback. We had some people ask us, gee, how many cups of coffee can you make with a portable power supply? Well, depending on the wattage and the amperage rating of your coffee maker, depending on the power supply you have, you can run your own test and find out, or you can see that we did a couple of videos on that. We didn't have a particular Keurig coffee maker at the time, so we used a toaster oven that replicated the same kind of simple resistive current. and we put together a test and came up with an answer. So that was pretty cool. Let's see what else. We've got a storm center that we set up during hurricanes and storms. We turn our living room into kind of a command central, and then it's also in one of our Jackery test videos where we give a demo of how we set it up and what we do. And we'll use about 300 watts of power. We'll run a 75-inch TV. We'll run a 32-inch television. We'll also go ahead and run our digital TV antenna that we have up in the attic. We've also got our modem and router that we can run, and then also the security cameras around the house. So we've got a nice portfolio of electronics that we can run, and we can run them for hours based on how we're set up with the Jackeries. So whatever portable power supply you have, you can really set yourself up. So we've been working with this stuff for years and really have gotten used to it. And we're just trying to impart that knowledge out there. And I am rambling about it tonight. That's why I say, hey, if you come in and you hear this stuff, feel free to interact. Feel free to chat if you want to talk about any of the hurricane prep or storm prep content on our channel. Hey, we've got somebody in here right now for a little bit that was listening. Feel free to interact. Feel free to put a chat out there, because we've learned a lot. We're helping a lot of people with our knowledge, but we could certainly use the help and have you guys give us your input and let us know how you're handling storm prep out there, whether it's hurricanes, tropical storms, blizzards, or what. We'd love to hear from you. And again, congratulations, 100 subscribers. We want to thank you all for hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, and we appreciate your helping us to build this momentum here. So thank you so much. We'll put another chat out here. I'll put a chat out here. I wondered, has anyone used a generator during the previous ice storms that we had earlier in the year? Now, we've got another person here. Welcome. Great to see you. We had one hellacious bit of ice storms here some weeks ago. And again, right out in Midwest, up right through the Appalachian area, gone right in, right up through Connecticut. We've had some friends up in the Carolina area that had some issues with ice, and then it turned to rain and got rid of it. But if you've had any issues or had anything come up, hey, please let us know. So far, we haven't had anybody in our family that's lost power from these storms. Both my father and brother have snow blowers. I was going to say snowmobiles. They don't have snowmobiles. They've got snow blowers. They were able to clear very heavy snow. They also help with their neighbors' homes, and their neighbors help them. So it's a really nice setup, and it works out really well. And if you guys do that sort of thing, hey, I think that's wonderful, because what Mary and I have learned over the years, and what we try to teach people in our book, Real Life Hurricane Prep, which is in the description here down below, is that you got to take care of you and your family. You've got to make sure you can get your kids to school, and that you can get to work, and that your vehicles are maintained and your generator runs right. If you get all your stuff taken care of, and you've got a good evacuation plan and a good, that's a bug out plan, or you may have to have a plan to bug in if you're going to be staying in during a storm. If you've got that stuff all set up, now you can help your neighbor, and your neighbor can help you. Once you get to that point where you've got yourself set up and your neighbor, now you can reach out and help the community. Sometimes we see people get it backwards. They really are well-meaning. They want to go help people. They want to do things right, but they don't have enough food home for the kids. They don't have stuff home for their families. And that makes it a little difficult, because, again, you've got to have your home base set up before you can reach out and take care of others. And that's just an important thing to know as you go through this sort of thing. And again, with regard to that, if you've got any comments or feedback you want to add, we read all our comments and we respond to everyone. At some point, we're going to be growing where that might be a little difficult to do that, but right now it's manageable. Hey, all channels start somewhere, and we've been working on this for about 8 months now, and it's been what a learning opportunity. When we had no idea being on YouTube would require as much work as it does, but it's an incredible amount of work, but it's a lot of fun. We've learned more about technology. We've made more mistakes that we've had to fix, so therefore we've learned so much. And it's just a great opportunity to build skills. And it's so nice when you get people like yourselves who come out and engage with us here. And talk with us and ask questions and begin a conversation and share a story, because when we interact, other people can see it. So anything that we do to help each other, excuse me, anything that we do to help each other could be helping somebody else out there. You could have a question and we answer it, or vice versa. Somebody could see that and maybe we added something positive to their life. You just don't know. I'm going to throw another chat out there. And that while commenting on YouTube videos, you posed a question or commented that ended up helping others beside yourself? A little hard to see here on this small screen. So we'll throw that out there. Have you gone out and interacted with somebody on a YouTube video to the point where you actually have a short conversation? And it may take 3 days for this conversation to happen as you put a comment out, and then you get a reply, and then you might comment again. Have you ever had a situation where you learned something from that, and then you found from other interactions that other people have learned from it as well? Because that's the cool thing. Again, we're here tonight. I'm Dan from Cameron Home Solutions LLC. Mary and I started this channel. We're mainly a hurricane prep and a heavy DIY channel. We just reached 100 subscribers today. That is so awesome. So we appreciate every one of you for commenting, taking the time to like our videos, subscribe to our videos. Hey, even people who didn't hit the like button, if they gave us a thumbs down for some reason, that would help us to grow. But usually when people give the thumbs down, it's rare that they give some input. We did have a person who said some of the sound on some of the earlier videos was low. So we've certainly been able to correct that in future videos. And then we did have somebody else who thought the wiring that we had in our circuit box wasn't up to par like they would like it. And they apologized for that. But hey, don't ever apologize for a comment. And you don't ever apologize for a comment you put on our channel. The builder set up the wiring the way it is. I think it's way neater than some others that we've seen, and we're happy with it. Things look good. And but again, I'm just talking about comments, whether they're positive or negative. We prefer any kind of constructive criticism, something that we can learn from and grow. But the interaction we've had with you guys over the past months has been wonderful, and we so look forward to having it continue. But enough about us. What about you? Have you had any storm experiences these past couple of days, you or your circle or your family, that you would like to share here? You can pop in a comment. We've got somebody else who's just come in. Thank you very much. Good to have you here. We're looking to interact with people to see how you made out during these storms, because we had some wind and hellacious rain last night here in Southwest Florida for a short time. My brother had a whole bunch of rain up in Connecticut. We've got friends out in Wisconsin who have just been buried in blizzard snow. People up in Illinois, same kind of thing. I mean, just crazy stuff. So if you're one of these folks, hey, love to hear from you and love to hear what your experiences were. And thank you very much for contributing. You know, one of the hard things that we're learning is people who have to go through these storms alone. We're learning about a lot of elderly people, people that have lost a husband or a wife, and they're now forced to go it alone. We've seen people where there might be some financial hardship because they may lose a pension or Social Security, so they may lose a stream of income, which makes it difficult enough. But if you're out there and you're older, you don't lift and move things like you used to. I just turned 60. I'll be 61 this year, so I feel like I'm young. I feel like I'm tough, but my body's different. I don't move around like a 20 or 30-year-old person anymore, and that's okay. I work with that, and I'm sure you do too. But it's hard as we learn about this and reach out and talk to more and more people on this channel and elsewhere, People that go through these storms and have to prep alone and have to go through them alone and then pick up trees and cut things up in the yard alone. Yeah, I really feel for them and give a lot of credit for what they do. It's a very difficult thing when you don't have the capabilities, the experience, or the know-how to do this sort of thing. My wife is very concerned about older women, and she being a woman who's older herself, she's been retired a number of years. She feels the same. She said, I can't lift and grab like I used to. I move a little slower. I've got to be more careful. As we get older, we think about falling and breaking things, where when we were younger, we just fall, we bounce, we get right back up. But part of our education here on our hurricane and storm prep channel and heavy DIY channel here is that talk about, if you're older, do you do things differently and need to do things differently so you don't risk injury? Do you work and network with your neighbors to come out and build a community and help each other? Because many hands make light work. You don't see one ant on an anthill. You see a bunch of ants working away, and they get a lot of stuff done, and they just do a fantastic amount of stuff. So I'm just saying, be that anthill. You can help others. You can, if 10 people attack a tree, cut it up. If a couple people have cordless DeWalt reciprocating saws, one person's got a chainsaw, somebody has some loppers, you can dispatch a tree safely in short order, depending on the size of it. We use our vehicles. We've used our van and our other vehicles. We had a Ford Explorer. We used to pull trees and brush after hurricanes with it and clear sidewalks in our former community. Now we've got things set up. We've done rigging videos, and we explain some of the different things that we've done and how to move things in storms. So we share tips like that for you guys. Throw that out there as a chat. Maybe somebody else may have done that sort of thing. Have you modified your vehicles in some way to help with storm cleanup? I'm not just talking about taking a pickup and throwing a chain on it. I just wondered if you had a streetcar, a Toyota Tercel or something that you've used to pull brush out of the way, or if you've used, or like our van, we've got different tools, trailer hitch modifications that we've made to our van that allows us to pull small trees. We can pull brush. We can pull a big tarp behind it, either pulling from the back or going backwards and pulling from the front. And we've cleared tons and tons of brush after Hurricane Ian that way. That was absolutely wonderful that we did that. And we did move a lot of things with our other vehicle in Hurricane Irma, which was back in 2017. Ian was in 2022. Now, we're coming up on North Carolina here and other parts of the states, out in the Western Carolinas and down south. So many people got just utterly shell-shocked by Hurricane Helene. And we understand there's still fights out there with FEMA, trying to get money out of FEMA to help rebuild those areas, do this, do that. If anybody's had any of the experiences where they've just worked with what they've had, modified vehicles, and done stuff to help themselves or their neighbors clean up after such crazy storms and rain and mudslides, hey, would love to hear from you, because anything we talk about will definitely help other people too. Again, I'm Dan from Cameron Home Solutions LLC. We're a hurricane prep channel. We also do heavy DIY. Very shortly here in the next month, we'll be putting together a series talking about generators. We've talked about rigging. We talk about storm cleanup, food prep, locking down your homes. We're going to have videos on storm shutters and roll down shutters. And a lot of this stuff is out there. This is not new stuff. But let's take a case in point here. Generators. We all know that we need to move generators far enough away from our homes so that we don't get carbon monoxide coming into the home and killing our family members, right? Then why do family members still get killed from generator use after a storm? We talk about the same thing. I've heard this for 30 years. Don't run a generator near a home. Get it far enough so the winds can take the gases away. Turn the generator so the exhaust isn't blowing right at the house. And yet, during Hurricane Irma, I watched neighbors run their generators right in alcoves with windows that were open this far, the breeze pushing that exhaust right in the house. Why do people still do this sort of thing even though people tell us, hey, why are you out there talking about hurricane prep? So many people have done that. You're not adding anything new. Well, sometimes we do add new stuff, but the very fact that people are still getting killed by generators over things that we feel should be just common sense, that's the reason why we keep doing this, because there are people that are coming in, younger people coming in that are new, they're learning about generators, young families, other people that they may have been out there, but they just don't pay attention to the media or the reports, and they don't understand the dangers. So there's always a place for things like storm prep, tornado prep, taking care of your car, making sure your gas tank is full, so in case you have to do an evacuation, you can go. Some people siphon gas out of their cars and they use it to run their generator, because you've got what, a 15, 20-gallon tank, whatever. And if you can siphon it out effectively, then you can actually put it in your generator and run the generator. Well, if you forget to fill your tank, it's going to be awful hard to fill your generator tank if your car gas tank is low enough where you can't siphon out of it. Still others have modified the fuel line where they're able to tap in and pump out. Whatever you need to do, you do what you do, as long as you do it safely. As long as you don't hurt yourself, hurt your family, hurt your neighbors and your community. There are a lot of different things you can do. Mary and I, excuse me, Mary and I are big on modifications. We've got modifications we've made in every home we've lived in. We've got a home here we just moved into in June 2023, and we've got all kinds of neat things that we've done here to make it easy for ourselves. Just knowing that as we age in place, as we get older, things are going to get harder. So we now have a garage hoist to help lift heavy things. We've got the modifications I explained. The Hyundai Kona and the van that we drive, they both have trailer hitches. Now, it looks a little funny to see a class 3 trailer hitch on a Hyundai Kona, but we can put our vise stand on there and bend things up and use a vise, because we don't have it in the garage. We don't have stuff like that in the garage. We've got it set up a little different. If we need to pull a trailer or do this or do that, we can use either vehicle to do it. If we have to evacuate down the road, we know how to use our tow rings that are used to pull the vehicles up onto tow trucks and stuff. We have one of those in each of the vehicles. We know where it goes in the front and back of each of our two vehicles. We can actually pull a tree branch out of the way. We can navigate and pull brush out of the way if we're evacuating from somewhere. Can you do that? And it doesn't take much. You might already have the tools right in your vehicle. You just may not have been exposed to that before. So by watching some of our videos, we're trying to share those tips and tricks that we learned over the years, because they really helped us in our community. They really helped our neighbors, and they helped us. And we keep that stuff in the back of our minds, because maybe someday it'll help you. So I'm going to go out there with another chat, and I see somebody else is here. Welcome. It's great to have you tonight. Let's see what we have. Have any of you used your vehicle to clear road debris while evacuating? And if you did use your vehicle to clear debris, what did you do? Did you have a tow strap? Did you have a chain? Did you hook to the front of the vehicle or the back? Hopefully you didn't accidentally pull your bumper off. We see YouTube videos where people hook onto vehicles incorrectly, and they jerk load a tow strap or a chain, or they just don't hook in the right place and half the front end of the car comes off and that sort of thing. We're trying to teach people, if you're going to do any of these things and have these modifications, please do so, but do so safely. Because there are right ways to do things and wrong ways to do things. And luckily for most people, there's about 10 different ways to use a trailer hitch to move things. And there's about 10 different ways you can use the front of your vehicle, 10 different ways you can use the back of your vehicle. Don't get me started on farm tractors, bulldozers, backhoes, other equipment. We had a loader backhoe years ago up at the farm, and we had a very small little machine, little 4,500-pound Kubota. That machine did more work. We made a ripper tooth. We made a grapple for it. We cut the bucket, turned it into a quick attach bucket. We welded that up. We put forks on that so we could put a pallet on it and use it for hauling stuff. You can do those kinds of things with a vehicle too, and it makes it really helpful in a storm. So if you're doing cleanup, These are the kinds of things we're talking about. And if anybody's out here today, so we got a couple of people out tonight, welcome. It's good to have you. My name is Dan, and this is Cameron Home Solutions LLC. We're a hurricane prep channel and a heavy DIY channel. Today we hit 100 subscribers, so we're just like, man, that's awesome. So thanks to everyone who's liked and commented on our videos and given us constructive criticism to help make things better. We don't know everything here, and we would love to get more input from you guys, because as much as we have a lot of information from our experiences that we want to share with you, we know that you guys have a lot of experiences that you can help us with. And by sharing it, we can also help others who view the channel. So that's what we're looking to do here. We're just looking to pay it forward. We've got great knowledge. We know you've got great knowledge. Hey, go ahead and put it out there. Let's do another chat here. Do you have anything on your mind with regard to hunkering down in your home during a storm? That's another question to think about, because you may be out in a storm and you may find that you can't go anywhere, or you make the choice not to go anywhere. You say, hey, rather than driving on the roads, you see what happens out there. Major snowstorms, you get 70 car pileups, truck pileups, all this sort of thing. Do you really want to be a part of that? It all depends. If you're out there working, you have to commute, or have to go somewhere. Hey, maybe you need to be out in the storm, but maybe you're in such a position where you made a conscious decision to stay home. Well, do you have enough firewood? Do you have enough food? Do you have enough water? Do you have enough fuel, enough oil in the tank to run the furnace? These are the things y'all think about. It would be great if we get some feedback, because we know there are so many of you guys out there that have been through a lot of this stuff. You've got great plans and tricks that work for you. We'd love to hear about them, because we've got some wonderful stuff too that we do. But we would love to hear from you, because again, we only know what we know, and then by interacting with others, it just makes it better for everybody. So thanks again. We've had a bunch of people stop by here this evening, and eventually what'll happen, it's always slow when you do these live presentations, but eventually you start getting people to hang around, you develop relationships, and it just takes time. I participate in other live sessions with other YouTube creators, and I learn a lot from it. So we just want to keep it open for everybody. And again, we're storm centered, and we appreciate your stopping by. I'm going to put another chat out there. It says, does anyone use a wood stove to heat or cook with during storms? We watched a video of some preppers out in the Midwest, and fantastic young couple with a couple kids. I'm not sure exactly where they're at, but they're out where it gets cold and crazy in the winter. They went through an ice storm, one of these earlier ice storms, and they were without power for a number of days. I know the lady does a lot of canning. She does a lot of prep. They have some portable power supplies that they use to cook with. They also had a gas generator. And Mary and I were talking about that couple last night. As a matter of fact, we had watched a couple of their videos, and just to get an idea of what they do in their lives to prepare for inclement weather. And it turned out that they had an electric range for a stove. And living in a rural community, Mary said to me, hon, isn't that interesting that they have an electric range that they don't use during power outages? They use they just bought a little griddle, and they cook stuff on a griddle. So she asked me, how come they don't have a propane tank and maybe a gas range there? And I thought, hey, that was a really interesting question. And that makes a lot of sense. That's something that I grew up on, natural gas, when I grew up in Connecticut many years ago. And my wife, she grew up on a farm in upstate New York, and she cooked. They had a big bottle of propane outside, and they had a gas range upstairs and down. and that's what they used to cook with. So when they had power outages, which were many up there, and even when we got married, and I lived with her up there in the old farmhouse for 15 years before we moved down to Florida here, we had, especially after Y2K, it seemed like we had more and more power outages after Y2K up there. But our gas stove was really wonderful. So, there's a question too. If you got people out there that go through these storms, do you guys use your gas stove? Do you use your LP stove, your liquefied propane? And if you do use LP, how's it work out for you? So many people seem to lose power, and having an electric range without a generator to run it doesn't seem to be too helpful. But there could be circumstances. And again, if you've got any input on that, I'd love to hear it. Love to have you share. Put another chat out there. All right, so it says, how about propane stoves for cooking heat? Cooking and heat, does anyone use those in their storm scenarios? We'll throw that out there too, in case anybody's got a comment. The idea is just to get an idea of what you do during these storms. You know that these ice storms we had some weeks ago were just terrible, terrible storms. The storms that we've gone through here, we were watching Max Velocity and a couple others on YouTube the last couple nights, and just the amount of severe storm activity, the amount of tornado activity was just mind-boggling. I don't recall seeing it like this, but I hadn't paid as much attention. Now that we create this content and are working, we pay more attention, and we're just amazed at how much people have to go through just in this country in terms of storms, basically at all times of the year in different areas, from wildfire season to tornadoes to hurricanes, tropical storms, blizzards, uh, dam breaks, chemical spills. That's why we advocate being prepared, having a plan. If you have to stay in your home that's bugging in, you stay in the home. What's your bug in scenario? Do you have enough food and water? If you're bugging out, do you have enough gas in the car? Do you need a four-wheel drive and you've got a two-wheel vehicle? And now you've got to say, I need to upgrade my vehicle. All this kind of stuff. This is what we're looking at. We don't have all the answers. We're looking to teach people as much as we can, and we need your help. So if you've got some comments or anything you want to put out there, by interacting with us, we know that other people are going to see those chats and those comments, and you're going to teach others as well. And we know that there's just a lot of you guys out there that have great experiences, and we'd love to have you share, because that's what happened with us. We had a lot of people teach us about what they do, and we've learned things, we've taught them, and it just works out. And that's what we're all about here in this channel, just helping people out and doing that sort of thing. I got a great chat here that they could get people considering things. Do you have any favorite strategies or tools that you use in storm scenarios to get you through? And that's very open comment. But do you have a certain way you like to set up your generator? Did you make some kind of plywood shed that you use to shield your generator from the weather while it runs in bad weather, while still allowing cooling air to circulate and exhaust gases to leave? I know some people have made some cool generator huts, and it keeps the machine quiet and it keeps the machine set up. They have blowers to bring cool air in, and the air gets exhausted out the other side. They have the exhaust safely handled. Do you have something like that you'd like to share? Hey, drop a comment on our channel. We'd love to hear about it, and talk about what you do to keep you and your family safe. Do you have a particular tool that you break out? Maybe it's a portable power supply, or like I said, maybe an electric griddle, or For us, we made our own little propane grill. We've got a homemade propane grill. We modified one of these Coleman bottle top grills, and we welded up a metal frame out of actually bed frame, 1x1 bed frame metal. And we've got a nice portable grill that we take with us, and we use it at home. The thing's great. We also take it with us if we have to do an evacuation. We've got small bottles. In fact, right here, see if I can get this thing out. We don't use the 20-pound propane tanks. We use these little 5-pounders. We got 2 of these. Now, they're not cheap. They're about $80, 70, $80 to get them now. But we keep them full of propane, and they last a long time. Now, we're not cooking ribs 3 nights a week for a family of 12. So, we're different. We're 2 people, but we can go for 2.5 months minimum just cooking on our little propane grill. So that's one of our go-to tools. So do you have something like that? Hey, feel free to bring it out here, or feel free to put a chat out there. You see, we got a few more people out here. Welcome. It's good to have you. I'm Dan from Cameron Home Solutions LLC. We've got a hurricane prep channel on YouTube. We also do heavy DIY. And tonight, man, we just want to celebrate. We've got our 100th subscriber. So we want to thank every subscriber, whether we have 10 subscribers or 10,000. We try to answer all the comments. We try to impart as much knowledge as we can. And we get so much from you guys when you interact with us that we can share with others. That's what we're all about. We've had so many people help us. What we're trying to do is take that knowledge, and we want to help other people with it as well. So if you've got anything storm related that you've done to help you or your family tonight, feel free to drop it in the chat. You can take this video. It's going to stop in about, let's see, what time is it here? It'll be about 15, 20 minutes. Then it'll turn into a regular video after YouTube processes it. You can watch it again. You can put a comment out there, and you can reach out to us. We'll see that comment. We can interact with you, and we appreciate any of that kind of constructive stuff that you can do, because, hey, we're all in this together. One thing that we watched last night when we watched Max on Max Velocity, you may know him on Weather Channel. He's a young guy, just got his college degree in meteorology last year, and he's got like 1.7 million followers. I mean, this young guy has done so much. He's been doing a lot of work down in Texas, where he stayed for a while. He was talking about hurricanes, and he would bring up, as part of his stuff, he has his storm chasers out there, and then people would bring up videos of overpasses and bridges, and then you can log in on some of the public cameras, and you can see some of the bridges and the overpasses. And Max shakes his head when he looks. He says, people, you need to not park your car under an overpass. First off, you're endangering yourself. You're endangering the other drivers. An overpass is just like a debris funnel. If there's tornadic activity or heavy thunderstorms, and debris getting blown around, it's just like being in a nozzle on a spray can. There's so much power as it goes underneath that overpass, and people put their hazards on, they park under there, and they just don't realize what they're doing. So it's just one of the most unsafe things that you can do, and he regularly harps on that. And here we go again. This is something that we've all known for years, especially those of you who live in tornado country and have dealt with this sort of thing. You don't shelter underneath an overpass because the winds can get so fierce, and yet people still do it. So when you hear people say, wait, you're doing a hurricane prep and storm prep channel, we've already heard all this stuff. We've heard this stuff for 40 years. Yes, we have, but people are still getting killed with generators. People are still being crazy enough to park under overpasses. So it stands to reason that this stuff needs to be repeated and shared with people, because either some people are just a little dense and they don't get it. I know sometimes I can be a little slow to pick things up, or maybe they just don't understand. When you think about young kids growing up, they don't grow up like we did. You don't necessarily get blasted with all this common sense storm prep knowledge on the internet when you're thumbing away on your phone after class. So it's an exciting time with all this technology, but it's hard too, because it seems like some of the knowledge that used to be passed down isn't being passed down the way it used to. So for all you parents out there, dealing with kids and dealing with them growing up in this high-tech world, it's an exciting time, but it's also kind of a freaky time too, because you don't always control the information that you can share with your kids. Like what happened when I was a kid, when I was younger. So it's interesting times, very interesting times. I'm going to put another chat out there. Thanks to everyone who has stopped by tonight. Please feel free to come back and check out our channel. And I certainly invite each and every one of you to do that. And we've got thousands and thousands of people who have been visiting the channel. Our views are up a tremendous amount here just this past week alone. It's just, we've had a couple of videos that just hit right. We got a lot of excitement, so that's really cool. So because of that, YouTube is now promoting the content more, and even more people are watching. So it's kind of a snowball effect that's building here. And we have you guys to thank for that. Again, tonight, a very exciting day for us. Boom, 100 subscribers, which is small potatoes. And, you know, we're not like Mr. Beast and some of these huge people with millions of followers, but we don't have to be. If we're down here doing our thing and we're changing a few lives and giving people some awesome information, then we're doing it right. And we invite you guys to join us. Hey, interact with our videos, leave comments, ask us questions, tell us about your story. We like to answer each and every comment so that we can learn some things. And while we're interacting with each other, other people are going to see these comments. They're going to learn from it too. So that's all we ask. It's just being part of the prepper family, part of the storm preparation family, just having plans for whether you're going to evacuate, where you're going to go, what you're going to take with you, how are you going to get there? Have you scoped out your route in advance? Do you know that whether the route you want to go is under construction and you can't get through, or does the roadway regularly flood at a certain time of year, which makes it a terrible road to evacuate during, let's say, August through October, but you can use it at drier times in the year? If you're going through those kinds of things, asking those questions and preparing yourself and your family for scenarios if weather gets rough or if you have to evacuate because of a wildfire, that's what we're talking about here. And if you do that sort of thing, we have plans for that. We've got plans that we've heard about from other folks that we share with you guys as we come across them. So let's just share together and get it going that way. I'm really pleased tonight. We've had a bunch of people stop by, and you'll get 2 people, 3 people, 4 people. And that happens as the channel builds. It takes time, but it's just so great that we've had people stop by, listen to what's going on. Again, I'm Dan. My name is Dan. My wife is Mary. We are Cameron Home Solutions LLC. We're here in the garage down here in Southwest Florida. We're down in the 50s tonight. It's a little chillier than it's been, and some of you are probably laughing at us. You're saying, "What do you mean? It's 10 degrees, 20 degrees where we're at. You know, you're down there in shorts and flip flops." And yes, I am wearing shorts tonight, not flip flops, but I do have shorts. We've got our generator in the back here. We're getting to run that another couple weeks because we do exercise it quarterly. We always advocate, if you have a generator, you basically inherited another child. You've got to feed it, you've got to bathe it, you've got to burp it, you've got to take care of your generator, and it's going to take care of you, especially if you have a gasoline generator. You don't want that thing to sit. You want to treat the fuel. You want to run it regularly. You know, what we do is when we had our smaller generator, we would exercise it regularly, and then we would plug a hair dryer into it, or we would use an iron, something that had a strong load that would give the generator a little bit of exercise. Here we've got this diesel generator that we take outside and we fire up, and we'll fire up the clothes dryer and we'll give it a good 30 amp draw on 240, and that really excites it. This is a 10,000 watt generator here, so we can run up to 40 amps on it. Well, we can get 28 to 30 just out of our clothes dryer, and then if we throw a microwave on or something, we can bring it up to the limit and run it over the limit for a little bit because it's a very strong alternator on this custom machine. Whatever you have, you've got to exercise it just like your body. You got to feed your body, you got to feed your generator. You exercise your body, you got to exercise your generator. Sometimes you got to purge your body. You may not feel too good. Well, you can do that with changing the oil on your generator and changing any coolant if it's water cooled like ours is. or if you're gonna take out the fuel and treat the fuel or condition it so that your carburetor stays nice and clean, change out a spark plug. Just take care of those machines and they'll take care of you. Down here in Florida, we've got an opportunity where I maintain generators for a select group of people from the community I used to live at. They've hired me to do that. And then during storms, I've actually stopped by as long as it was safe to do so. I'd leave the community here because we're running just fine. We may not have lost power, and I go down and help them run their generators, do this and that. It's a great education for me because it just keeps me in the know with the various machines that I handle for these folks. But it's a good feeling to know that you can do things out there and give people some peace of mind and give people the knowledge. Because our big thing is, hey, we've helped set people up with generators. We've given them exercise sheets and operating manuals and just shown them how to take care of it, how to maintain it, because we've been around it all our lives. We don't know everything, but we know enough to be very effective. So, and then when you come to the house and you see that person has that generator running, they did it all by themselves. They pulled it out and they set it up and started it up, and they've got the propane going and there's no leaks, and they've got the AC running in some of the houses here in Florida, and they're watching television and learning about what's going on around them. And they come by and they give us a hug. They say, thank you so much for helping teach us how to do this. So we know we're not afraid of the generator anymore. That's the whole thing. Come on out to this channel, check out what we have. We're trying to get the fear out of this sort of thing. And the way we do that is with knowledge, with camaraderie here, being together on this journey through Mother Nature and life, because Mother Nature is always throwing something at us, right? But just helping other people out. And when you can teach somebody how to do something, then by golly, I guess you may know it pretty well. And every time you teach somebody something, you have an opportunity to learn more. I see we just got a like out here on this live channel, which is absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much, whoever that was, for leaving it. I'm just going to check on the chats here a little bit. Send another one out there. Is anyone out there new to storm prep or new to using generators? I say that because a lot of us are out there. We've done this stuff for years. This is old hat, but we always learn every time. But there are people out there that haven't done this stuff like ever. My wife's got a new chiropractor and she visits. Great doc. This lady's wonderful. Well, she's new to Southwest Florida. She's new to hurricane country. So she bought a copy of our hurricane book, Real Life Hurricane Prep, which is in our description below. It's available on Amazon. It's an awesome book. We wrote it, but it's got great information. The reviews will tell you. But that's what she's using as her guide to build a hurricane plan for herself, because she's never experienced heavy weather. She may have experienced other stuff up north, but now it's hurricane country, so she wanted to learn. And that's the kind of thing that you can do. So I say, hey, if you're new to this sort of thing, yes, we can understand what it's like. When we first moved to Florida back in 2011, 2012, we were very intimidated by the fact that we got down here. It was like April 30th, hurricane season. This was 2012. Hurricane season started a couple months later, and we just went all out, learned all that we can. At the time, we had the house that we bought. We took the old windows out of it. They were non-impact windows. We replaced them with insulated hurricane windows. And that was one of the first things we did in that house. And we had planned that, and that worked out really nice. So it was a real learning curve for us. And I got to thank Matt Devitt from Wink News. When he was a Wink News meteorologist at the time, years later became chief meteorologist, and now he's on his own doing some great things. I really highly recommend you check him out. And that's Matt Devitt. He's wonderful down here in the Southwest Florida region. But we learned a lot from his team and the channel, watching things. They used to put out a hurricane guide every year. We'd pick it up at the local grocery store every year and use that to prepare. And it got to the point where we'd been through so much and we'd helped so many people. We wrote a book about our own experiences and what people have taught us and we've taught them. And in that, we dedicated to Matt Devitt being basically the first person we dealt with regard to hurricanes. So maybe there's somebody like that for you, and this is your chance now. If you're new to hurricane country or wildfire country or storm country, hey, take some time. It can be a half hour a day. Dig in deep, learn about your evacuation routes, learn how wildfires act, learn how hurricanes act, learn how they form, where they can go, learn about storm surge, learn about what you might need to keep in your car if you're evacuating from a wildfire, anything. You just want to get that knowledge because life is awesome. It's great to be here on Earth. Sometimes no, but most times yes. But when Mother Nature comes, sometimes we don't know what she's going to throw at us. Just be prepared. That's all we're saying is be prepared. Again, my name is Dan from Cameron Home Solutions LLC. We've just reached 100 subscribers this morning, early afternoon on our YouTube channel here. Man, it's just an exciting thing. Thank you all so much for being a part of that. We think it's exciting. We think it's great. And come on in, check out our videos and give us some interaction. Comment about them. Can we do something better? Is there something you'd like to see us do? Hey, you see you got a couple of jackeries and you like to test them out. Can you test them on? We had a guy ask if we knew what it would, if a jackery of a certain size would run a washing machine. And we wrote back and said, well, and it's in the comments in one of our jackery test videos. I don't recall what size jackery portable power unit he had, but we have two of them and they're 2,000 watts each. So we took one of them and plugged it into plugged our washing machine into it, and we did a couple loads of laundry. And we found that thing used anywhere from 15 watts of power to, I believe it was like 45 or 50. It wasn't much. So we did not use a lot of power to wash a load of clothes. As long as you have water and as long as you have a power source, you can unplug your washing machine and definitely hook it into a jackery or a Blue Eddy or an Oops or a Coleman or whatever portable power supply you have. As long as it's big enough to do the job and do the work, that's awesome. So these are the kinds of things we have on our channel. I want to thank you all very, very much for stopping by. I just want to check the comments here. I'm going to put one more chat out there. I want to thank all y'all for participating this evening, and we welcome you back at any time. We've got a viewer on here. I see we've got a like. We've had a number of people come in today. Hopefully we've said something or showed you something or pointed you to something where you can learn. And hopefully we've done our job, which is to pay back what so many people have done with us over the years. I'm rambling. I'm going to stop now. We've been on for a little over an hour. It's great to be here. We'll be back next Tuesday. Sometimes these live presentations are structured. Sometimes they just kind of go off the wall and pell-mell here and there. And again, when we get to the point where we grow and if people come back and reply with comments, that can help direct the conversation. Appreciate your stopping by. Thank you very much. Again, 100 subscribers. Thank you all so much for helping us to get to that point. Whether we have 10 subscribers or 10,000, we're going to try to treat everybody the same way, respond to every comment that we can, teach as much as we can, and learn as much as we can. Thank you again. Have a great night. Be safe, and we'll see you on another video or in another live session. Bye now.